Jefferson Ramos Vallente Jr., the current component leader for GIS and HEVR mapping of Mindanao CELLs. Part of my responsibility is to lead in the research implementation of the project and also to lead the junior research assistants on their mapping projects and also for their analysis. For the past 7 years, I've been teaching GIS, hydrology, water resources engineering, and also the final year project study. So these 4 subjects, I've used some of the modules in the component that I'm leading. For the modules that we developed, it's applicable to all levels. So during their first year, they will have a basic subject on Introduction to Civil Engineering, where hydrology is introduced. When they're in their second year, they will also have their GIS. And when they reach their third year, they will have their higher subject for Water Resources Engineering, which then culminates in the fourth year for their thesis subjects. So far, I had that feedback from a student with the geomatics subject. So this is with the introduction to geomatics in their third year. So we actually had a topic on HEVR mapping, and this focuses on floods. So the purpose of the module was to let them be acquainted with the different hazards, exposures, and vulnerabilities in an area. And we focused on an area where some of them live. So it gave them an idea that their houses, their residents are not safe from floods. And they also had an understanding why power interruptions happen when there are certain hazards, such as when there's a tropical storm or if there's a sudden earthquake. Initial feedback is appreciation on the renewable energy projects in the Philippines, and also on the deeper understanding on the things that we lack, especially in the power sector. Things like we don't do energy conservation, or we lack renewable energy sources, which is not yet at par to other countries. When we first introduced the modules, it was timely that there's also the pandemic during COVID-19. So when we delivered the modules, what was lacking is actually the real-world applications. The students would appreciate it better if they see these things, like they see the solar panels by themselves and appreciate how the hazards will perhaps improve or be detrimental to the suitability of a certain site. So that, I think, is one thing that needs to be improved, but we know there are some limitations with the pandemic. Second, in Xavier, we have this service learning program. So students are exposed to a certain problem, and then they try to propose solutions from these innovations, or perhaps some things that they see as a gap between these systems. So students had lesser appreciation because they did not see these things, they did not feel these things, and they were not exposed to these things. So siguro when we develop it further, when the pandemic is over, perhaps we can do and improve this subject delivery. Aside from the research and teaching job that I'm doing, the other is with my professional organization, so with the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers. So we do forums and webinars, and renewable energy is one new field that's being developed with the curriculum. We call it as bioenvironmental engineering, So that's the new field that's being developed. So we keep on sharing these tools with them, and we also get to learn some innovations being shared by other colleagues. One thing that I noticed is that because the professional programs in the Philippines are more programmatic, meaning that they only align to one degree where they belong. I noticed that they may improve their appreciation on renewable energies if there's a multidisciplinary or there's a multidisciplinary approach where all sectors and all disciplines can contribute to a certain system. And they can also better appreciate it if there are career opportunities that are available. So if there's an explicit hiring of this kind of program or this work or job, then that will pull them to renewable energy sectors.